Hello viewers, good morning from Neil Island and welcome back to the channel with a new video of our tour of Andaman. We woke up very early in the morning and walked to the beach, which was just adjacent to the resort. People had already gathered, eagerly waiting in the hope to enjoy a beautiful break of dawn, as Sitapur beach is famous for its sunrise. We too hoped for the same, but it was a cloudy morning and the sun was struggling to illuminate the sky with its golden hues. Nevertheless, we were very much in the moment, having a good time. The tides were getting stronger, and so the sound of the waves. We walked a little further along the shore and found this beautiful spot, more like a private beach, which was perfect to spend some lone time. You can walk beyond this point along the shoreline when it's low tide, but it wasn't safe at that time as high tide was about to set in. But it was definitely worth the walk to reach this spot. Making the most of this cloudy morning and taking a dip in the sea, we were about to walk back to the resort to get ready and catch a ferry to Port Blair. At a spur of the moment, waves grew stronger and high tide set in. There was no way we could have walked back along the shoreline. Thankfully, there was this staircase, which was a savior, or else God knows how we would have walked back along the shore. There was a series of steps which led to a house, as we saw from down here. It was also quite steep and we had to wait to catch a breath. We were quite worried and just hoping to find a way back to the resort. The phone network was also down, and without a single person around, it felt quite intimidating. But finally, we reached the top, washed our feet, and then quickly followed the pathway, hoping to lead somewhere. The property looked like some project office, and later got to know it was a power plant. We were very happy to see the gate open, which led to a back road. Turned out to be quite the adventurous morning. After walking a few meters, we finally reached the perimeter of the resort. Such a relief. We freshened up, got dressed, and walked down to the restaurant for breakfast. And while it was getting ready, we took a stroll, and let me show you the vibrant garden of TSG Aura Resort. Finally, breakfast was ready. The spread was good, had a variety of items, and we ate almost everything that was on the menu. After a full tummy and a happy heart, we were back on the move towards the jetty to catch the ferry to Port Blair, which we had previously booked online. We reached the jetty quite early and had more than an hour left to board the ferry. So in the meanwhile, we decided to take a short walk to Bharatpur beach, which was right next to the Neil Island jetty. Bharatpur beach in Neil Island is mainly famous for water activities such as jet ski ride, banana boat rides, scuba diving, snorkeling, and a few others. There were a few food courts serving mostly seafood. The sea was calm and people were swimming and relaxing by the beachside. We spent some time here, clicked a few pictures, and then walked back to the jetty for our onward journey. The ferry had arrived and everyone was walking towards the boarding point. People coming in were deboarding the ferry and we had to wait for some time to board. This is the Nautica, which is a private ferry and considered one of the fastest and most comfortable one here in Andaman Island. We board the ferry, sit on our seats, and it started raining in a while. We surely had a beautiful time at Neil, and with a promise to visit again, we were on our way back to Port Blair. And in 1 hour and 30 minutes, we reached Port Blair. The weather was quite humid that day and it was also drizzling. We collected our luggage and then hopped on an auto towards a hotel which we had previously booked. After dropping our luggage at the hotel, we were back on the road, moving towards the jetty point for a tour of Ross Island, which was just a 20 minutes boat ride. This is the ticket counter for booking boats to Ross Island, North Bay Island or Jolly Boy Island tours. We were charged Rs 200 per person for Ross Island to and fro boat ride. There's a cafeteria inside the jetty where you can order and pack snacks and drinks for the tour, as there are no shops inside the island. The boats will be lined up and you'll have to arrive at the boarding point on time, where you have to check for the boat number which will be given at the ticket counter. Ours was named Sea Lion 23. Everyone will step inside in queue and then wear the life jackets, which were quite dirty to be honest, and enjoy this short boat ride to Ross Island. And in front of us is Ross Island, also officially named as Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose Island, which was once the administrative settlement of the Britishers during colonial times. The boatman instructed everyone that we had an hour window to explore the island and come back to the boarding point after an hour and look for the same boat which will take us back to the jetty. We were quite amazed to see deers walking freely among humans, and looking at their calmness, it felt as if they were trained. There are these cards where you can book a seat for the island tour, but we decided to explore by ourselves on foot. Ancient stories and folklore were displayed on boards across the pathway. This island, once tamed by the Britishers, are now in ruins and home to these animals, which were settled here as a part of the tourism project. It was exciting to see animals walking freely without any boundaries, and they seemed to be happy in their own habitat, not much bothered by the tourist. They must have gotten bored of people coming in and out daily. These are now all in ruins, which once happened to be a bakery, powerhouse, swimming pool, etc. The vibe of the place was something else, transports you back in time and looked like a movie set. It was definitely very picturesque, and we did click a few pictures. We walked further along the pathway to explore the place a little more, came across a gentleman who was a boatman and showed us a route for a 360 walk of the island. He asked us to follow him as he was going the same way. Walked these steps, which is supposed to be a shortcut, as informed by the boatman, come our accidental guide for a short time. It was so peaceful and also not a single tourist around. We were a little tired and exhausted though, as the walk was a steep one. This is the cemetery of Veer Savarkar, who holds a prominent role in the Indian independence movement and his contributions to social reform. This whole island looked like a botanical garden, surrounded by trees which were hundreds of years old. It was really spectacular. We saw a few steps downhill leading to a secret beach named Ferrar Beach, which is supposed to be one of the attractions in Ross Island but is missed by most due to its seclusion. We sat there for a while and had snacks which we brought along with us from the restaurant in Port Blair Jetty. Came across a Presbyterian church which seemed like the biggest one among all the ruins on this island. This used to be a subordinate club of the British officials who seemed to live a very cool life here in this beautiful island, and all our native people were slaves to their lavish lifestyle. Sad but hard times. But really glad this place is totally ours now, though in ruins. Thus, our 1 hour on this island comes to an end. We walked back to the boarding point as our boat was about to arrive. Had an amazing time here and also learned many things of historical importance. This island should not be missed while on your tour in Andaman. We board the boat and sail back to the jetty. We booked an auto from the jetty and reached the historical cellular jail, also known as Kaalapani jail. Got ourselves 2 tickets and all set to explore the place. Cellular Jail or Kaalapani was a British colonial prison in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This prison was used for the purpose of exiling criminals and political prisoners. Many notable freedom fighters and activists were imprisoned here during the struggle for India's independence. This room displayed the methods of gruesome torture and punishments on the prisoners. Had goosebumps by just imagining the painful experience. This was the gallows for execution by hanging. These were the cells of the prisoners. The lock was built in such a way that it was impossible for anyone to escape or open it from inside. Let me show you how the cells were locked from outside. There were 7 wings in total and prisoners from almost everywhere in India. This is a block which hasn't been much renovated. It was definitely very intimidating and an emotional feeling as well to get inside the cells and imagine the brutality the prisoners faced in here. We walked to the terrace of a block and took a 360 walk around to see how the wings were interconnected and sophisticatedly built, which can be considered as an architectural marvel during that era. Lastly, visited the museum inside the campus, which displayed pictures and stories of cellular jail during its prime and also snippets of Andaman Islands before our independence. After the tour of Kaalapani, we strolled the streets of Port Blair, heading towards Aberdeen Bazaar, which was at a walkable distance from the cellular jail. It's worthy to mention that Port Blair government is doing a commendable job in keeping the streets and nearby localities very clean, though it's a busy market area. This is the famous Aberdeen Bazaar clock tower. After having some snacks and drinks at the market, we hop on an auto and head back to our hotel. We end the night with a little celebration, and the next morning we head straight to the airport and end our amazing tour of Andaman with a heart full of memories and a phone full of beautiful pictures. Until next time, stay tuned.